Hi, I'm Kim from K-Craft, and today I'm going to show you how you can make some easy cards just by creating some interesting backgrounds. I'm going to be using Glimmer Mist, and Glimmer Mist is basically an ink spray that's in a bottle, and there's many different ways and things you can use Glimmer Mist for. Firstly, with it being in a spray bottle, you can use it in the traditional way, as one would think, to just spritz onto a card and add color to your paper that way. But today I'm going to show you some other things that we can do with it. So to create these gorgeous backgrounds that I've got over here, I used a combination of the spray ink and some water. And this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to use some of my blue Glimmer Mist, and I'm just going to spritz it onto my craft sheet. I'm literally only putting one spritz of blue down there, and then let's use some of the green as well. Oh, and there's the green over there. Now we're going to use a little bit of water to dilute this ink that I've got on the craft sheet here. The craft sheet for this is a must, but if you don't have a craft sheet, maybe use some strong plastic to protect your surface that you're working on. And I'm adding quite a fair amount of water to the spray on there, and now I'm going to take my card. Now my card that I'm using is quite thick. It's 260 gram hot press cardstock that I'm using, and I'm going to give this a little spritz as well, just to make sure that I'm going to get a real nice watery runny look on my card when I do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip this into the ink, giving it a little bit of a roll, and lift it up again. And this is the effect that I'm getting. And isn't that beautiful? I'm going to let the ink run on the page a little bit, on the piece of card, and let it create its own sort of creative design. Like that. Now I'm going to set this aside to dry. So you can do a whole lot of prints like this using this mixture of ink and water over there. There we go. Now, if this is too structured for you, you could just add a little bit more water and let it run a little bit more. And there you go. I have another little bit of a trick that we can use to make the background even more interesting. So I've got my card and the ink and my water, and what I'm going to use now is a little bit of dishwasher salt. It's nice coarse salt. And again, I'm going to do my spritzing, spritz my card a little bit, dip it into the ink, and I want quite a lot of ink on here for this particular thing. I'm going to make sure that it's extra wet and give it another little spritz of water there. And now I'm going to sprinkle some of the coarse salt. There we go. So what's going to happen over here is that the salt draws in a lot of the liquid, and it ends up creating a pattern design on the card. The only thing we need to do is you need to wait for this to dry before we can use it. So I'm going to set this aside. And we'll just clean up the workspace. This ink is water-soluble ink. That's why it reacts so beautifully with the water when you mix with it. The other wonderful thing about that is that it's not permanent. So if it messes onto anything, you invariably are not going to have a problem getting it clean. So while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to start working on some of the other elements that you can add to your card. Firstly, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. I'm going to stamp some of the sentiments and details onto the card. So this little strip of paper will work exactly perfect for a little message to go onto a card. Over here, what I've got is what we call the precision stamper. And this helps you to do your stamp work absolutely perfectly every single time. And I'm going to show you just how it does that. So here I've got the little piece of paper that I want to do my stamping on. Over here, I have a magnet. This actually comes with 2 magnets. but I think for this I'll get away with just using the one magnet. So I'm going to position my piece of paper over there, and now I need to decide what the message is that I want to add on the card. Over here, I'm going to use one of these stamps. We have a huge collection and range of stamps that you can find in your local PNA store. That can suit just about any occasion that you need it for. I'm going to take the one that says friends. So what I now do is I position the word friends exactly where I want it to be on the piece of paper. It needs to be exactly there, just like that. I've put it onto this little foam support sheet over here inside the precision stamper, and I close it. When I close it, this lid is going to pick up the stamp. And now all I need to do is ink up my stamp and stamp. I'm using an Archival ink. Just dab it lightly like that and press down. And there you go. You've got a perfect impression. So now we've got that, we're ready to go. So once those are dry, they will look something like this. This mottled effect over here, you can see is the effect that you get from the salt that was on the card. You can now decide how it is that you want to finish off your cards with the various little sentiments and various embellishments. So ready-made flowers are a really easy way to go to add a little something extra to your card. So we can take that card, add the sentiment friends, stick it onto a background, and there you go. You can have a very quick and easy card. So let's put all of this together. I use just a little bit of glue. I'm going to mount this onto a little bit of a border so that it looks a little bit more finished. I'm going to trim that down so that it's the right size for my sentiment. Now I'm going to layer it. The glue will dry clear, so you won't see that once that's on there. Now I need to position my card correctly onto my background. Once I've got that, I'm going to add a little something extra over there just to finish it off. And I've got this little flower. Stick that flower over there. And there you go. A very quick and easy card. And you can do exactly this, repeat this with all these other beautiful backgrounds that you made using the same technique. Once these are dry and you've trimmed them all down, they're going to end up being beautiful for more cards that you like to make quick and easy and lots of fun. So we can use all of these cards to make gorgeous backgrounds. I'm going to have a look and see what the one that we used the salt with looks like. This is what it looks like now with the salt. We're going to turn the salt off. I'm going to toss it off. It's still a little bit wet. But there you can see you're starting to get a beautiful pattern which looks very similar to that on the card. So using all of these different cards and the very easy and very basic techniques, a combination of flowers and stamps and messages for your sentiments, you can make a whole lot of really quick and easy cards in no time whatsoever. I hope you'll give it a try and have lots of fun trying your spray inks out in a different way. Thank you very much.